Hello. Welcome back to the Bibbs Corner podcast. I am Mike Bivens, your host, as always. And this is actually a milestone episode here today. This is actually the 10th episode of the show. I have been cranking them out here for the past few weeks, actually. The pandemic kind of hit right after I had started the podcast. And, at the time I didn't really have a concrete plan for what I wanted to do. But as I've started kicking this off, the weekly movie recaps and then the Mavs post-game recaps have kind of made sense to do. And they seem to be getting views. So I'm not going to complain about that. I'm going to continue this way for a while. The only special edition episode I did last week, I released the Bibbs Corner Movie Awards for 2019 movies. Super late, but I did get that out. So that's my 10. I got 5 that are sports related, 5 that are movie related with this one. And I don't know, I feel good. I feel good about it. I feel like I'm getting more comfortable with talking to myself. That hopefully won't always be the case that I'm talking to myself, but for now I'm getting used to this. I'm getting into a swing of things, and I don't know, I'm glad. I'm at 10, and I plan to keep going no matter what. So if I'm on the road or whatever the case may be in the future, I should still be able to crank these out the way I have been, and I do believe that consistency is what is necessary when you're doing this type of thing. Right now, like I said, we've been getting pretty good views, surprisingly good, I'll say, even, because I'm terrible at self-promotion. So thank you to anybody who has been listening and continues to listen. I appreciate every single one of you. I am working on getting some music that is unique to this podcast right now. If you ever listen to the third round picks, then you know that the music that I'm using right now is the third round picks music that I paid for, or that we pay for. Let me correct myself. But like I said, I've reached out to my producer friends to see if I can get some unique music for the Bibbs Corner podcast. So I'm looking forward to that. But to the topic at hand, because I could ramble on forever the way I do. I did watch 3 movies this past week. I didn't intend for it to go this way, but I actually kind of had a theme, and that theme was movies led by women, particularly young women, actually. So this week I watched 3 movies, like I said, and those 3 were Yes, God, Yes, which is almost exactly what it sounds like. We'll get into that later. Swallow, and now I'm really starting to think this sounds pretty bad. And then Babyteeth is the last one, which kind of throws off the whole weird vibe I was throwing out there initially. But yes, God, Yes, Swallow, and Babyteeth, all were led by young women. All 3 very different movies. We'll get into that as well. I had intended to try to watch Yes, God, Yes last week because that's when it came out, but it was intended to go out in theaters, and then the video on demand release was set for the 28th, which I believe was this past Monday or Tuesday. So I had to wait for the video on demand, and that's why it fell onto this week. So anyway, with these 3 movies, 3 very different scenarios. So like I said, with Yes, God, Yes, I just started hearing a little bit of buzz about it recently. The lead actress in that movie was Natalia Dyer, who plays in Stranger Things. She's the teenage sister of one of the kids. I haven't watched that show in a very long time. But Natalia Dyer, that obviously caught my attention, and then the movie, what it was about, kind of caught my attention as well. So Yes, God, Yes is a movie about a young girl who I want to say she's about 16. She's in Catholic school, and she's in a world where basically abstinence is being preached to her, but her body is telling her different things. So all the kids her age are, their bodies are changing. They're curious. And it was one of those situations where, kind of like in the movie Good Boys, but in a different way, where the kids are all talking like they know what they're talking about when it comes to sex, but it's very clear that none of them know what they're talking about. And so she's this very meek, timid, innocent young girl, and she doesn't want to act like she knows what she's talking about completely, but she still does it from time to time. And I think Natalia did a great job of capturing that essence of innocence, but yet pretending to know a little bit. In the movie, basically, it's set in, I want to say, the late 90s, early 2000s, where, whenever we were doing AOL still, and almost the dial-up situation. But she goes into a chat room and ends up accidentally getting into a racy conversation. I don't even think she completely knew what she was getting into, but basically it kind of makes her curious about the way her body feels when she hears certain things or sees certain things. So basically she has that moment, and now she's like questioning. She goes to school. She's being accused of doing certain things with a boy at a party, things that she doesn't even know what they mean. I think the main one that gets tossed out, and I wish I hadn't used that word, but basically they're accusing her of tossing some boy salad or something. Which, of course, again, she does not have any clue what that could possibly mean, and becomes like a running joke throughout the movie. I think at one point she like licks a pudding cup at lunch, and like all the kids bust out laughing. So she's going through this, and then she gets an opportunity to go to a youth Bible camp. And there she runs into a character played by Wolfgang Novogratz, and I probably destroyed his name. But basically he's this big buff jock type dude with hairy arms. I think he's like the captain of the football team. And she's infatuated with him. And it's like most of the humor is like awkward humor, where it's like the kids are dead serious, but they're like, if to anybody on the outside looking in, it's hilarious. And it's funny because we all knew these kids in high school, or maybe you were those kids in high school, where they're just like, I mean, I hate to sound like I'm making fun of Christians, but they're like goofily Christian, like way over the top, happy and cheerful all the time. And everything is, tied back to the goodness of God and Jesus and stuff. And it's like, I don't know, it felt like she was the writer / director was making fun of them, but at the same time, you could know that she wasn't. Like, there are kids, this is literally how a lot of these kids are in these situations. So she goes to this Bible camp, this church camp, and all the kids are perfect, and she's still feeling, trying to test these boundaries. She's fallen in love with this guy at first sight, trying to do anything to get his attention type of thing. And she's being told that the way that she feels, not directly necessarily, but just the way that she feels is being preached to her as a sin. To want to touch yourself or things like that is being preached to her as a sin. So she feels guilty. But then there is a moment where she realizes, and it is revealed to her, that the people that are preaching these things to her may not be as righteous as they proclaim. And it kind of creates like a shift in the way she views herself and these people in the world. Of course, she's felt like she's been wrong all this time, and now it's like, wait a minute, you're out here doing XYZ yourself. Like, how can you tell me I'm wrong? So it's a coming of age story. I thought it was done pretty smartly. I think anybody who grew up in a conservative area or in a school in the South, because the South is the only place that this happens, where abstinence-only education is what is taught in schools versus actual sex education. I think that you'll probably enjoy this movie or relate to it in some way. And I do think it is a topic that should be addressed, and I appreciate the way that this movie addresses it. Like I said, it felt to me almost like she was making fun of people that live their lives in this way. But at the same time, again, this is very real. There are people really like that who who preach that, thinking about someone is a sin, or premarital sex is a sin and you're going to hell and blah blah blah. And so she's this innocent girl growing up in this lifestyle. She doesn't know any better until she does. And so I don't know. I enjoyed it. It made me laugh throughout, especially with how awkward she was with the jock guy. And then just her kind of revelation, awakening, the way they handled it was smart in my opinion. They didn't make this huge scene where she like exposes everybody's hypocrisy or anything like that. It's just kind of, she takes it in, sees it for what it is, and is likely, you don't really see it happen, but you know that she's going to adjust the way she approaches herself and her world, basically. I feel like I just kind of talked in circles around that one, but yeah, if you're into like weird, awkward comedy, I think a lot of people will enjoy this movie. I have it rated, I believe I gave it a 4. No, it's my highest rated 3.5 out of 5 movie right now on my list. And of course, those things are subject to change. I did tweet out my updated every movie from 2020 rankings. So these movies will be included, as well as Bad Education, which I don't think was on there previously, but was on the last weekly update. Man, I've like I said, I feel like I rambled on that one. I kind of went in circles. It's tricky talking about this type of movie because I don't want to spoil certain things, but at the same time, I do want to make sure you know what you're getting into. There is some light, like actual sexual content. There's not like explicit scenes or anything like that. There's some talk about different things. Just depending on what your tolerance is for that type of subject matter. But just know that that's what you're getting into. Teenagers trying to figure out, what's going on with themselves. Moving forward, and actually I think I'm going to regroup. I need to drink some water. My voice is sounding extra raspy. So I'll regroup, drop this ad right now because I nearly forgot, and then I'll get into Swallow. Okay, so we are right back to it. The second movie on my list this week was Swallow, and this is one that I've heard about for a long time. I think Mike, who helped out with my awards last season, Mike talked about it on the timeline. He said it was weird. He seemed to like it though. I did not. So Swallow is a movie about a young woman who is married into wealth, and basically her life is completely controlled by this man and his family. And her way of coping with being controlled was to take control of her life in the only way she could. And in her eyes, that became, the way she was set up, that became swallowing random objects that she would find around the house and then like collecting them after she passed them. I probably could have liked this movie a bit more if she had any sort of real personality, which I just couldn't grasp. I initially, early in the movie, was expecting for some type of twist where she was a robot or something like that. I don't know. It just didn't. It didn't connect with me. I get what they were going for. I do. I just didn't enjoy it, and that's pretty much all I can really say about that one. I gave it a 2.5, I believe, out of 5, and I probably should go lower. But I think a 2.5 in my ranking scale is, maybe some audiences will like this movie. I probably am going to end up moving it down before it's all said and done. But, there were some interesting parts of this movie, but just the idea in general and the way it's, like, played out, I don't know, I just really couldn't get into this character at all. We do learn something about her past at some point in the movie, and then it becomes sort of interesting at that point to see where that trail is going to lead us. But up until that point, it was just like, there are some scenes that were hard to watch. It was just really weird, and really hard for me to get into, just based on the way this character is managed during the movie. I'm not even going to spend too much time on that. I can't recommend that movie to anybody. Next on the list, finally, was the movie Babyteeth. And what I did, or what I do when I'm trying to figure out which movies I need to watch versus, which ones I want to watch, I'll get multiple articles from different websites with the top 10, top 20, top whatever, top movies of the year, top must-watch movies, whatever the case may be. And every single list had Babyteeth like top 5. And so, looking at the picture of it, there's like a girl with blue hair, and like there's a weird coloring in the thing. So I can't tell what the movie's about just by looking at that image. And it was hard for me to get up the will, or get the energy to hit play on that movie. But I finally did it this week. It is, for all 3 of these movies I ended up paying for, and I don't mind. It's been a long time since I've been able to pay for movies. They were rented through Prime Video. I think the most expensive one was like $6.99. But rented all 3 movies, and Babyteeth, wow. I went into this movie completely blind. I had no idea what I was getting into. I don't think that knowing what you're getting into will hurt in this particular instance. I think I figured it out within 10 to 15 minutes of the movie. But those first 10 to 15 was me trying to figure out what I was watching. So this movie, I'll just say it straight up. This movie devastated me. Like, makes you reevaluate your life and the way you're living it. Like, I shed real tears watching this movie, and was like in an immediate depression, like after I watched it. And like literally I had to force myself to like get out and like see the life as valuable again after I watched this movie. I'm sorry, that's probably being a little bit dramatic, but no, I literally just laid on my sofa here after the movie and just like thought and reflected. And it may be because of how it kind of hit close to home in some ways, but anyway, let me get to actually talking about the movie. So the movie is based out of Australia, which obviously is perfectly fine. That's English as far as I'm concerned. And the movie is about a young girl who is, and I feel like there's 100 of these movies, and so a lot of people probably don't get up for these type of movies just because there's so many of them. But it's a young girl who is sick. She has cancer. It's never really openly stated in that way, but she does. And the movie is basically about how she's dealing with being a teenage girl, having, this disease, and also follows like her family and how they deal with it and the issues they're having. Like her parents' marriage is not as strong as it once was, perhaps, and they're coping with it in their own ways. At the beginning of the movie, she meets a boy from the other side of the tracks, almost literally, who she latches onto in a sense. And basically, she's trying to live life the best way she can and just experience things, if you will. And so that's how she uses this guy. He's an addict. He's got troubles, but you can tell also that he has a good spirit. So of course she brings him home. The family is like, get this dirty, dusty dude up out of my house. But at the same time, they understand what their daughter is going through, and they try to allow him to be around and is, well, good in certain ways. It kind of changes throughout the film, but it's like, initially when she brings him home, they kind of try to be nice to him in some way, shape, or form, just because their daughter has been going through what she's been going through, and if he makes her happy, then they're not going to push him away immediately, like they probably would under normal circumstances. She's falling in love with this guy. It's not clear where his feelings are, and just there's a lot of ups and downs between them. There's a lot of ups and downs between the parents. There's I'm not gonna go there. There's a lot that happens with her, I'll say, health wise, and dealing with her school situation, which really I probably could have done without some of the school stuff, but a couple of those scenes were very strong and hard to watch for all the reasons that you would expect this type of movie to be. Just like the way that she has to see other young girls living their lives like, teenage girls do, while she's dealing with facing life and death type of thing. Throughout the movie, I personally spend my time trying to figure out where we're going, what the end goal is, like where we're gonna end up. And I won't get into that portion of the movie, but overall, man, it was a very good movie. It was very powerful, very different from a lot of these movies that you see of this nature. I think one that came to mind was the one on Netflix last year with my girl from Game of Thrones. I can't think of what her name was or what the name of the movie was, but the young girl in this movie, she was not perfect in any way. She was not exceptional in any way, really. She's just a girl, and I think that's what really made it real for me. The parents weren't amazing, and they weren't crappy either. They were just parents trying. Like, this movie's very human, very real, very raw, and captures a lot of good emotion. I really enjoyed Ben Mendelsohn, who plays the father, and Essie Davis, who plays the mother from the Babadook. The parents were amazing, and man, I'm spending too much time thinking about it right now. It really, really hit me in a deep way. It's definitely in my top 10 right now for 2020. So yeah, definitely lived up to the hype, and I wasn't sure early on in the movie if it would. Even halfway through the movie, I could say I wasn't sure if it was going to actually live up to the hype, but they got me with that, with the second half or so of the movie. They definitely got me with just how human and how real and how raw it was. So if you are into that type of thing, if you're into that emotional content that makes you feel, that makes you appreciate life, Babyteeth will definitely get you. Man, I'm not gonna get into that. So yeah, so that was it. Yes God Yes is a coming of age kind of feel good movie, some awkward comedy, very relatable for a lot of people. I don't know what I just did there. Swallow was trash. I did not enjoy it at all. Very weird movie. Some people are into that. It's very art housey and very indie, creative, weird, whatever, quirky, whatever you want to call it. And then Babyteeth was just powerful, emotional, real. There were some beautiful moments as well, some nice moments. So just I mean, like I said, it's a very human, very raw movie. So I think I had a strong week overall, even with Swallow being what it was. I think it was a pretty strong week for the films I watched. This coming week, I am probably going to, and I'm looking right now at different movies that are coming available. I might do horror movies. I need to do something different. So I was looking at my schedule, my calendar, because some of the movies that I was looking at are going to be available for free in a few days. So, for example, The King of Staten Island was one that I was looking at that's still for rent right now. It's going to be free on Amazon Prime on the 11th, so I'll probably do that next week. And then Capone is also going to be free on the 10th on Amazon Prime, so I'll probably do that week. What else do I have? So this week I'm looking right now at watching Becky, the Kevin James movie. Is one that's been on my list. I might watch The Rental finally, and then First Cow is another one that's been in. It's always in the top 5 of every list I see. So right now I'm looking at The Rental, Becky, and First Cow. And we'll see how the week goes, if I'm going to add anything to that list. But this has been another edition of the Bibbs Corner podcast. I believe this is the longest movie one I've done besides the award show. So how much of that was rambling and incoherent stream of consciousness thoughts? I'm not sure. We'll try to clean. I'll try to start cleaning these up. I've been trying to outline a little bit of where I go, but sometimes I just start talking and words just start flowing out of my mouth. So, again, thank you for checking in. I hope that the movie recaps have been helpful for you in deciding what to add to your watch list and things of that nature. Hopefully when movie theaters get back open, it'll be a little different. Right now this feels weird because I'm just watching whatever I can get my hands on. But again, thank you for checking in. I will shut up. Peace.